Good evening. The Who's today were on at Newcastle, up in the coalfields. The track was good. The rail was 1 metre out from the 1500 to the 400 metre mark, and there was a light to a steady nor'easter blowing, which didn't have any effect, and there was no bias on the track. The meeting, it was absolutely disgraceful. It was without a doubt the worst Newmarket meeting in the history of Newcastle. It was a ghost town. The 5 regular bookies who work on the fence at Newcastle were there. There were 5 bookies on another 5 on the rails from Sydney, making a total of 10. 3 more Sydney bookies in the outside ring, plus 2 locals, 5 in the outside ring. It was a ghost town. If the 5 bookies from Sydney wouldn't have come, and also the handful of pros who came from Sydney, the meeting would have been a farce. Disgraceful, gone to Gowings. The first race today was won by the first starter, Lone Ballad, trained by I Own the Lead Gay, Waterhouse. It went straight to the lead. It bled this filly, and was still able to get home. It was a huge result for the captains, I must admit. We put it up 11 to 8 on $1.70, and it started 2.25. It didn't have a name, and there were a few back to beat it. It led, as I say, and was able to hold on and beat Kim Dynasty, who's not much good, by a half a length, who came from midfield. Getting trapped wide in the run was the stablemate to the Avery, Seductive Star, and but it wouldn't have won whether it was trapped wide or not. In that first race, it was fat. There was nobody there. It wouldn't matter if you put up. It wouldn't matter what you put up. 113.2 on the screen, the flux screen, about 6 less, about 107 in the marketplace, playing to an empty house. Now, this second race, it's no good saying one thing and meaning another. It's only my opinion, and I think a lot of people agreed with me, and I think the stewards were completely and utterly wrong here. I don't care what they say. They have an opinion, and of course their word is final, but this protest should have been upheld. I don't know who the Stipes were in charge, but I thought they'd simply made a mistake. It's as simple as that. It should have been upheld, the protest. Blind Freddie could see it. When they hit the first turn, this short price favourite Shelford, who had his birthday today, we put it up a 5 to 2 on chance. It did go around in the golden slip of this colt. It mightn't be a colt now. It might be a gelding, and it went straight to the lead. Gay had a first starter in the race called Ecuador, and getting to the first turn, it was just about to race up and go past the Avery, and the favourite came out and bumped Ecuador, and Nash, I think, lost his iron for a little while, and the horse was put off stride and went at least 5 or 6 horses off the fence or out into the middle of the track, and then came back and sat outside, leading by about a neck to on the favourite, and then Nash took hold when the favourite had booted up again, and he got beat about a half a length. I can't understand it myself. I think that that there was at least a couple of lengths interference in this race, and I think, in my opinion, the protest should have been upheld. Now, it would have been a huge difference for everybody, especially for bookies, for the captains, and for the grumble and grunters, because the second pick, Ecuador, it didn't have a price. It went from $4 out to $7 or $7.50, whereas the Avery, we put it up a 5-2 on chance. Well, take your 5 for 2, and they didn't lay that on. But when we got it to the $1.60, it was laid on. The $1.55 was laid on. The $1.50 was laid on, and the $1.45 and the $1.40 laid on. It started the 3-1 on a $1.30 favourite, and it was able to survive the protest. How, I don't know, but it did, and it was 2 lengths away to the runner that sucked up third on the fence from barrier 1, Uriah. The flux screen said 103.4. There was just a little bit less in the marketplace. Race 3, oh, this was fat. 112.7 on the screen, about 6 less in the marketplace, about 106 positive figures playing to a ghost town. This would have been an absolute moral beaten. Daruna, who went around on the very heavy track last start at Kembla Grange, when the gates opened, horseman Huey Bowman missed a kick on this winner, Daruna, by a couple of lengths, and then turning for home, he was in last position, weaved in between runners, and was held up, losing his momentum fairly badly at one stage, but was still able to poke through and win by 0.4 of a length from Lewis, who also came from well back, and running third in the race was Sir Dillon. The favourite here, Hey Hey Rene, was given a perfect ride by James McDonald in the 1-1 position. It was extremely well backed. We put it up a 6-4 chance, got to $2.80, $2.50 to $2.80, back into a $2.50 or $2.60 chance. Daruna was $4 out to $5, taken at one stage back into $4.80, but started 5. And the other pair that were in the market, Lures and Narashima, both were hard to lay. They opened up, Lures opened up about a $4 chance, got to $5.50, and Narashima, it opened up about a $4.60 chance, and it got out to $5.50 as well. The winner, by far the best run, would have been a good thing beaten if it hadn't. Race 4, 109.4 on the flux screen. Oh, the robots will be happy with all this today. And about 4 less in the marketplace, 105. And this was a result for the captains. Emertus resuming, or had one run from a spell, went fairly ordinary, and it was able to come from 5th position, given a good ride by Christian Reith. And when they hit the line, there was only about 1.1 lengths between 4 runners. Magnetron led, I own the lead. It went from a $4 chance out to $5.50, finish up running third. Sitting on its outside was Mr. Scary, who started the favourite. It opened up a $4.60 chance, got out to $5, but it was poleaxed by the pros into $3.50 favourite, and it couldn't. It tried to get past the leader all the way up the straight, but couldn't. And coming from third on the fence behind the leaders was the second horse, Commangy, and it only failed by a half a length. But as I say, sitting in the 5th position, one off the fence, was the winner, and it was just a little bit too strong to finish winning by a half a length. There were really no hard luck stories and nothing to wrap in the race. Race 5, 110 on the screen. Oh, the robots are clapping their hands. 106 in the marketplace, and this was the 2-year-old race, and it was Nash. I own the lead, and went straight to the lead, and Hydro I'm talking about, The stablemate was a bit unlucky in this race, Aztec Rose. When I say unlucky, it was it missed the kick and copped a little bit of a check at the start. where the second and third horses were unlucky in this race was the control that Nash showed. Once he got to the lead on Hydro, he was able to get a very easy middle section, and when they turned for home, still had plenty of horse up underneath him, was able to get clear. I couldn't understand why the other hickey hockeys waited until the turn and to make it just a race from the turn on. Bold Blake Shin on Ideal Gift, well, he was in the 1-1 position and he waited till the turn before he took off, and when he did take off, of course, he was a little bit flat-footed and also ducked in very badly in the straight, which most probably cost him victory. When they hit the line, and coming from about 6th position, was the stablemate to the winner, Aztec Rose. This winner only fell in by 0.2 of a length from the stablemate. The top weight Ideal Guide was 0.3 of a length away, and coming from about 5th position, beaten only 0.8 of a length, was Shine On. The winner was flattered because of the easy lead it was able to obtain. Race 6, there was, I've got Skinny here. Don't pick up the phone yet, boys, and call the coppers. 100.8 on the flat screen, but it was worse for us in the marketplace. 95 given only, and the favourite, the opening favourite, which didn't start favourite, I'm talking about Mercon Man, it opened up a 2-to-1 chance, and it was $3 out to $4.80, and it escaped from its handler in the enclosure and ran back to the stalls, and apparently whether it fell over or not I don't know, but there were some abrasions and it was scratched. Now, prior to this, while it was getting out in the market, there was one runner in this race coming in the market naturally, and it was Emperor of Rome, the only 3-year-old in the race. And I couldn't understand it, and I didn't want to miss Emperor of Rome. And what a nice netty I am, or a nice torn deuce. $9 I gave, and it started only well before the scratching of Mercon Man. It was a 5-to-2 chance only, and when the scratching of Mercon Man took place, we reframed our market. It did start 9-to-4 on my board when they jumped, but it was $3. Well, before the scratching, what am I talking about? It wasn't a 5-to-2 chance. It was $3.30 taken, $3.20 even taken. It was into 2-to-1, and the third pick in the race was My Man of War. It opened up about a $4.60 chance, got out to $5. It was taken. Laid some really good bets against it at $5, but it started $5.50. So the figures in this race were terrible, because, and especially with number 1 didn't having a price. I wonder whether it would have won or not. Might have been playing up when it escaped Mercon Man. We will never know. But I couldn't understand the huge backing for this 3-year-old Emperor of Rome, and it would have been a very bad result for all the captains if it would have got home, and also a Man of War would have also been a bad result. The winner, Spellbinding, it was an easy way. It went from a $8 chance out to as much as $14, Spellbinding, and it came from about 3rd last position in between runners, and coming from last down the outside to run 2nd was Grand Feeling. It led Emperor of Rome from barrier 2 with Man of War on the south side. It didn't look that good in the run when they hit the first bend for the captains, but when they turned for home, the leader didn't find much, nor Man of War, although it was only beaten 0.9 of the length Man of War, but the other two runners came from well back in the field and were able to get past it. The winner and the second horse, most probably the best runs in the race. There was it was a funny run race. As I say, they went to the lead. Causing a little bit of interference was the 200 to 1 chance Little Miss Rose, who stumbled at the start. The rider became dislodged, and Little Miss Rose took off on its merry way after a little while and went around the field and got past the leaders without the hickey hockey aboard, of course, and it didn't make the two leaders go any faster than they should have, so there are no excuses. Race 7, there was 104 on the screen, 102 in the marketplace. Sweet now, don't have to call the Johnny Hoppers. Now, in this race, well, this was the Newmarket, of course, and well, they only returned this favourite, Maharisa, at $3, a 2 to 1 chance. Well, I was $3.50 when they were about to jump. I did bet 6 for 2 at one stage. All the way into this runner was $3 taken at one stage. It was well into $3, not $3 taken, but it was $4 into $3, extremely well backed, and it sat outside the leader, Famous Seamus, and Famous Seamus's rider, Robin Freeman, and also Nippy Nash aboard Laser Hawk. Thought they were a little bit harshly done by here. One came in and one came out, and checked this favourite towards the finish of the race, when the favourite was completely and utterly beaten. It was going nowhere, and one came out and one came in. It was a bit of a chain reaction sort of thing, bump, bump, and they both, Nippy Nash and Robin Freeman, copped suspensions over it. The Stipes are, they can wheel that cane when they want. Anyway, as I say, it led Famous Seamus on its outside, the Avery, getting a good suck straight behind them on the fence. From barrier 3 was Bellow. On its outside, Laser Hawk, who ran second, and when they turned for home, Famous Seamus got off the fence, good 2 or 3 off the fence, and the Bellow was able to, well, there was a mile of room, ridden by Jay Collette. It was able to get along the 18 pence and win by 0.2 of a length from Laser Hawk, and the leader, Famous Seamus, held on for third, and coming from back just past midfield was Raspberries in the fourth hole, only beaten 1.1 lengths. Whether the form in this race is any good or not too sure, because, well, for a start, geez, I thought the favourite was a very short price. By the same token, I wasn't that keen on the winner. So the winner was very well backed. When you put it up a $10 chance, 9 to 1, it got out to $13, 12 to 1, but only started its opening quote of $9, extremely well backed. And there are a few other runners backed in the race. But as I say, the form in this race, the Bereft, number 14, an 80 to 1 chance. Well, it was eased at the start from its outside alley, went back to last position, eased across the back of the field, found the fence, and when he turned for home on Bereft, he was Brendan Abdullah. He was held up for at least twice in the straight and copped a bit of a check, and it made up a lot of ground and only got beat about 3 and a bit lengths. And to make up that much ground, an 80 to 1 chance, and it's not that strong Bereft, it makes you wonder whether the form out of this race is any good. Then we came to the last, and of course I've got to give this bloke a rap. Um, we they had different callers up there today from different states and so forth, but this young bloke who called the last race, he's the best caller. I watch the tapes. I watch the tapes 7 days a week, and it's just a blessing when he gets to a meeting calling the race, because it doesn't matter whether it was a 900-metre race or a 9-mile race. He after they go a little while, it doesn't matter the size of the field. If you close your eyes or you put your head down and you're writing down the numbers where he has them in the run, he's always right. Where, you know, the bloke who calls down at Kembla the Saturdays and he gets to Gosford and a couple of they jump out and there'll be a big field. They just start calling horses names. Oh, it jumped. Well, there's one bloke. There's two of them. He knows nothing but a favourite. He just calls whatever the favourite is. If he can't even see it, he's looking for it, and he's a favourite looker. And he calls it whatever it does first. Doesn't matter if something misses a kick me 6 lengths. He says, well, the favourite, or something jumps 3 in front. He doesn't say that. They're the favourite. He goes, drive you absolutely bananas. Wouldn't know what time of day it was. And he just calls the races. And sometimes you write down his numbers in a field, in a 900-metre race or a 1,000-metre race in a big field, and without trying to save time and look at the colours and so forth, and you write down the numbers, and you start calling, you put down he called it, jumping to the lead, or the favourite first to call, then something going to the lead. Next thing you know, you'll get to the turn, it could be running second last. You wouldn't know if you're a fox terrier puppy dog. This bloke who called the last race, he is the best caller in Sydney. He should be calling races. Well, he's the whiz kid, great caller. This race was won by I Own the Lead. City of Light went straight to the lead, which everybody knew it would. Ridden by Nippy Nash, trained by Gay, went to the lead, had a nice little picnic up in front, coming across and sitting on its outside Full Blast, who's not real strong. Getting a suck behind them on the fence was Mantonet, who's not very strong either, and on its outside Air Comet, who obviously hasn't come back this time in. And when they turned for home, the typical combination of Gay and Nash, I owning the lead, was able to control the race at the right tempo and get and hold them off to win by a length on the line, coming from midfield off the fence, or about 5th position, 6th position was Excel Equa, who was slightly held up, beaten the 1 length, and hanging on for 3rd was the runner who sat outside the leader, Full Blast. In that last race, there was 103.6 on the screen and only a neat 100 in the marketplace, and the winner got the favours, and there were no hard luck stories in the race. That was about the meeting. As I say, it was disgraceful. The worst Newmarket Newcastle meeting in the history of racing at Newcastle. The joint is completely gone to Gowings. What are they doing to are they just trying to ruin the punters, are they? They're trying to kill all the punters off, stuffing a race down their neck every 3 minutes. They must be kidding. Anyway, they know what they're doing, or do they? Good evening.